when I go to Alice's house, it's always a ceremony, and this is something you guys don't see. But we sit here at this table, don't we, Alice?
We do. We have tea.
We have tea, and those...
I made scones. And I'm not a cook.
No?
But I'm starting to find joy in it.
Oh, wow.
So, yes,
Times
I know.
have changed.
Yes,
and we're using coin silver.
Coin silver spoons.
Yeah, yeah.
And I tried to coordinate my,
Yes.
paperware, but I don't know. I didn't.
Oh no!
I don't know that
cute.
I. Well,
it's okay.
It's a daisy.
Yeah.
And then we got some
summer.
bees.
I know.
And then we have this Bennington pottery. We put our little tea bags in it because you have to. When you have these, you need to use them.
Yes, and so whenever I come over to do a segment at Alice's, and we film for a couple hours, and then we sit down and we have tea and a little something.
And then we thought, well, you know what? The next couple of videos, we're going to be chatting at the table. So we said it's kind of like a fireside chat with no fire. But
yeah, we don't want the fire today.
So we said, well, we'll just get some tea.
We'll just get some tea. So you guys are joining us for the fireside tea chat. Yes.
Yes.
So this is wonderful. Guys, this is so wonderful. These scones are delicious.
Good.
Oh, but I didn't hit record. Yes, I did. Okay.
What is that looking at?
It's looking at it's looking at your mouth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we on?
We're on.
We're back. We just had our little tea and scones little snack. So now we're going to talk about hat boxes, or you could call them band boxes, or wallpaper boxes. Any one of those terms will be okay. They are covered with wallpaper, so I'm going to call them wallpaper boxes. This is my latest obsession. Thank you, Leroy. So I had one small one, and then Leroy would post beautiful pictures of his collection, and it just drew me in. They're just fantastic. So my next one, I actually went to a show, and then Leroy's found a few other ones for me. So now it's growing. I think I have maybe 6. So anything beyond 3 is a collection. So here's my little history of hat boxes. One of the most famous hat box maker was Hannah Davis. She lived in Jaffrey, New Hampshire. She was born in 1784. Her dad was a New Hampshire clockmaker. Her parents died fairly young, and she was a spinster. And she needed a way to make some money to support herself. So the wallpaper boxes or hat boxes, band boxes, it was their heyday. Their heyday was, let me see if I can get the dates. If not, I'll tell you later. 1825 to 1855 was the heyday of the hat making or hat box making industry. So she decided that she was gonna make these boxes. Now the boxes were used to store hats, gloves, men's collars as they traveled. And I think in England they were called band boxes because they stored the men's collars and they kind of looked like bands. So I think that's way back that they might have been called band boxes at first. She decided she was going to make a better band box, hat box. Because most of them are made from, I think it's called not plaster. Is it plaster? Hold on, I got to get my right word here. Pasteboard. So pasteboard is paper, several layers of paper that are pasted together. Most of them are made of that. So it's hard to find these boxes because, again, it's made out of paper and, they get wet or they disintegrate or whatever. She decided she was going to make a better hat box. So she made hers out of very fine, thin pieces of spruce. And so that would be the band around the covers. And then she used thicker pieces, I don't know if it was spruce or pine, for the top and the bottom. I'm sorry, the band this way and the band around the box. And I'll show you no, I don't have one of hers, but I'll show you. Okay. I wish I did have one of hers.
So you have the paper ones.
I have the paper ones.
Okay.
So she made hers out of wood. So they obviously lasted longer. And she started selling them out like 5 cents to 50 cents, but she had a really big market of women that worked in the textile industry in Manchester, in Lowell, in Nashua, New Hampshire. And she would go and set up. And it was, like I said, it was the heyday of the wallpaper making, box making industry. So people used them, and that they just traveled. The way they dressed, they needed boxes to put these accessories in. So she started out selling, and apparently she became quite a wealthy woman. She was really an entrepreneur. Now, most of these boxes that you find were manufactured in like a factory. She made labels for hers.
Wow.
And they're oval, and they say Hannah Davis, and usually they're on the inside of the top of the box, sort of just haphazardly. They could be all crooked. There are other ones that are labeled Hannah Davis with a circular label, but those were not made by her. And the source that I read thinks that they were probably reproductions. Maybe a museum made them. But circular labels are not original Hannah Davis. She had about 10 different rectangular designs. So she was an entrepreneur way back then, and she became a pretty wealthy woman.
Did she ever marry?
No.
Wow.
No, she never did.
Oh,
So,
that is the
isn't that
coolest
interesting?
story I ever heard.
It's so cool, you know?
Wow.
So let me see what else I need to, I probably told you a lot of this stuff already. Oh, they also made, which are rarer, and not Hannah in particular, I don't know. But they would make these half round ones to hold those big combs, those really ornate combs. So they, obviously the top hats, all kinds of accessories, ribbons, laces. You know, they traveled with her because that's how they dressed. So they needed that.
By Stagecoach.
Yes, exactly. There were also, you'll also see from time to time, rectangular boxes with the wallpaper on them. Those are not the band boxes. They're just pretty boxes that people wanted to make prettier.
Okay.
So back to Hannah, the wallpaper boxes are decorated with wallpaper, and then she lined the inside, and most of them are lined with newspapers from the period.
Oh, wow.
So it's kind of cool. You know, you can look and see what,
man.
yeah. And, but because she didn't really have any money to spend, she would trade to get pieces of wallpaper from friends' crafts to kind of get her started. So that's how so she was very, very entrepreneurial, you know, and she figured out a way, she had to make a living. So, yeah, so that's what, so I thought, isn't that great? I mean, way back then in the 1800s. I think that's fabulous.
That's fabulous.
Okay, so let's see. Oh, the other thing about the manufactured hat boxes, band boxes, they don't, if the cover doesn't match, it doesn't mean that it didn't originally go with the box, which I didn't realize. So you could have a different wallpaper covered top that did go with the box, didn't match it. That's just, they mix and match them. And I didn't know that. Now, I think most of the ones I have do have matching top and bottom. And the wallpapers were beautiful then. You know, they're just so beautiful. So when we get to, I'll open it up and, I guess I have a lot more.
Were those the wallpapers that they would also use on walls? Like these were actual wallpapers?
Yes, exactly.
Wow.
So they're just beautiful. Yeah. So I think I've kind of told you about Hannah. Most of them are not marked. So if you find a Hannah Davis with one of those, you're probably not going to find it. But if you do, and you get it for not a lot of money, that would be awesome.
Now I'm going to start looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to bring the boxes up and just kind of open them up and show you. Or the other thing about Hannah's, where they were made out of wood, you could open them, close them, and they survive pretty well. Where the paper boxes, actually, the less you open them, the better it is, because they're just paper.
Right.
And they're usually not perfect.
Okay.
But I don't care about that.
No.
So,
okay.
So this is the very first band box, wallpaper box. I'm calling them wallpaper boxes.
Okay.
That I bought. And it's all blue. I basically did buy it for the blue color. So, but wait till you see what color the paper is inside. Isn't it cool? And you can just see this paper in an old house, can't you?
Totally.
Now this one doesn't have newspaper,
Nope.
but it has this beautiful patterned wallpaper inside where mostly they have them on the outside.
Wow.
Yeah. So this is just a plain blue one. Again, it's battered and it's beat up.
It's been rained on.
But I love it all the more.
And so how old do you think that is?
I'm guessing it's got to be from the 1800s.
Yeah.
I mean, look at that paper.
Wow.
You know?
Wow.
But I don't really know much about it. Again, I don't see a Hannah Davis label in here. So.
And it's a paper one, and Hannah Davis did.
Exactly. Hers
yeah.
were wood. I've never seen one of hers, ever.
But you think they'd be around more because they,
I know, you would think.
Right?
I mean, someone's got to have them.
So who has them?
Because she made a lot of them. I don't know. So that was the first one.
Okay.
Bought basically for the color. So I'll just zip right over here.
While she's zipping over there, people, do any of you have Hannah Davis wallpaper boxes? Because if you do, I totally want to hear about them.
So this was wallpaper box number 2. Look at the squirrel. Look at this paper.
They're squirrels.
They're squirrels. And I'm just going to turn it. I want you to really get a look at how beautiful this box is.
Oh, wow.
Look at them.
Yeah.
I bought it for the squirrels.
You bought it for the squirrels.
Even though, they eat they make a mess.
They make a mess.
And then this is the top.
Wow.
And I'm assuming it matches. It's the same colors, but...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I guess it is. I guess...
That looks like
I don't
a bird.
know. That looks like a bird. So, maybe not. But again, that would be fine. If it does. So now I'm going to... And again, they are fragile, but this does have newspaper.
Does?
Look.
Let's see. Oh, wow.
And I mean, I don't know what the date is, but look at the printing.
Oh, man.
Isn't it cool?
Let's
I'm going to have to look. I'm going to
in.
have to try to find the date now.
Oh, wow.
But you can see why they probably didn't last very long because they're so fragile.
Well, yeah. I mean, to me, they seem paper mache.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, paper mache like.
Yeah. Or also, I would say that paper that they
Or
put
cardboard.
in layers
It's really
is cardboard.
It's cardboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really what it is.
It really is. That's the earliest cardboard.
But
so how we could never have something from cardboard that would last now for 200 years.
So they are actually hard to find. Like if you go to a show, they are still difficult to find.
Really?
The show that I went to and I saw this, this was the only one there.
Wow.
And I was determined I was getting it because now I was hooked after seeing all of Leroy's. That I was going to start a collection. So that's number 2. And number 2 went to number 4 more really quickly.
Well, yeah, because I think the last time I came, you had 2.
Yeah. So, this lovely one, I think all the rest of them I actually got from Leroy. So I think this might have come out of his private collection.
Okay.
So again, it's blues. It looks like a scene, like maybe buildings and
It's definitely a
tree,
bridge.
maybe like what's the famous the blue dishes
Like-
that have that scene.
Oh,
Willow, like willow.
Willow stuff?
But I don't think it is, but look, it kind of reminds me of that.
Well, it's got the swans.
Yeah, and it looks like this water and a person maybe in a boat.
Looks a little European, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
But again, it's blue, so I'm just going to quickly just kind of turn it around.
So yeah, there's that little cape house, little
Yep.
country cottage, and the swans and the
Yep.
yeah.
And it's still pretty brilliant for its age, I think.
True.
Now here's the top of it. That probably gives you a better idea of what the scene looked like.
Right.
It's a little faded, and this is actually I don't know if you can see the stitching. It's like stitched,
Oh no, that's crazy.
isn't it?
Wow.
Yeah.
Like, how did that ever last?
I don't know. I just don't know. Now this one does not have newspaper inside, but it could have, because this almost looks like maybe it was, I don't know.
Huh.
Maybe there was something there. I'm not really sure. It looks like there was something else there, but I don't really know. But who cares? Because it's beautiful.
Who cares?
It's a beautiful thing.
Wow.
Yeah, so then I had 3.
And then there were 3.
And then there were 3.
But we wouldn't be having a video about it if there were only 3.
All right, so then my dear friend Leroy started looking, and he keeps tempting me. But this is another beautiful. Again, it has water stain, but I mean, look at this wall. Can't you imagine this wallpaper in like a dining room? I mean, look at it. It's just so beautiful. And see, this is stitched at the bottom and the top band here as well. So Hannah's boxes, this piece and this piece was the thin spruce, and then she had, I think it was pine, thicker or thicker spruce, top and bottom, that really made her boxes last longer. There's the cover.
Wow.
So let's see what's inside.
You kind of match your hat box today, can I just say that? Oh,
Newspaper. Now I'm intrigued to see if I can find dates.
Right. Like, is there anything there by Charles Johnson?
I don't know. I mean, look how this printing's so small. I have to get a magnifier out. But,
Yeah.
But
Wow.
And inside. But look what comes out. Ta-da!
Oh my, I wonder how that got there. Isn't that cool?
Isn't it lovely? It's
what does it say? Coach makers in the middle there? Coach making?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
Oh. You know,
Yeah,
I have
it's
this
so-
thing about stagecoaches lately, you know? Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
Coach making.
I bet you could find a date if you really looked.
I bet.
But
we
it's
could.
got to be 1800s. It has to be. So we'll put the hat back in, and you can see why the shape of them was perfect,
Yeah.
because they were oval.
The bank bill. Something over the Senate bill is concerned that important House of Representatives distribution bill. This is all political stuff.
So what I want to know is, how did the people actually read this? I can barely see it.
Oh, I can see it. 3 lives were
have
lost last
glasses
week. Yeah, I have glasses. Of course I have glasses on. If I didn't have glasses on, I couldn't see it. King of Pittsburgh, with his wife's mother, 3 children, and female servant, is attempting to make a landing at Erie in a small boat from New England steamer, on board of which they had been passage from Cleveland, were capsized, and 2 of the children and the servant drowned. Every exertion was made to rescue them, but without success. This is fascinating. Oh, here's someone called Henry Clay. Taught me that Henry Clay was always right. Let him differ with whom he may. I consider his judgment superior to that of any man living, for during my political life I have never something with him on any important subject. Deviated, differentiated. This is so cool.
So I bet there's a lot of history.
You could spend a few days
You
just reading
could.
the hat box inside.
You could. Okay, so now we're up to what? 5?
Then there were 4. That's 4.
Okay. All right, and then we got a couple of more. Again, I think these all came from Leroy. So we have this darling little blue one. Now, can't you see that in a bedroom?
That's really cute.
And then this almost looks like a coordinating piece.
Ooh. Ooh.
And let's open it up and let's see if it has wallpaper. I mean, a newspaper. Because I don't even know if I've actually opened them all. Nope.
No newspaper.
No
Oh, now I'm
newspaper.
disappointed. Oh, yeah. Okay, I really want the newspaper.
But this was a smaller one. Maybe it would have had a lady's hat. But do you remember, oh, I'm going way back, you know, in the 60s,
Yeah.
we used to wear hats to church. And I remember my mother bought the round hat boxes,
Oh, yeah.
you know, with the little carrying
Yes.
rope, you want
Yes.
to call it. And we put our hats, our Sunday hats in there.
Okay.
And put them at the top of the closet.
Yes,
So,
yes.
But now women don't wear hats.
We don't wear hats.
We don't wear hats. But we were still using them in the 60s.
Okay, so I have this conflicted problem, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm glad that we can dress whatever we want, and wear jeans and leggings for crying out loud, and pants,
Yeah.
and do whatever we want, because the clothing was so restrictive for the women back then. But I sure love looking at their clothing and their hats and their gloves.
I
and
know.
they're beautiful.
All the I remember the gloves and the hats and the pocketbooks and the military jackets we'd all get
Yes.
dressed up in.
Yeah.
I know.
I just, they're so beautiful.
I know.
Okay, what's next?
Last box.
Oh, last box.
So
And
this
there
is
were
a
6.
round one.
Okay.
And it's totally different from the others where it's kind of beige on beige. But again, a beautiful wallpaper pattern. And this does have it has another label. And it has a little tag here saying that somehow it's connected to Nantucket.
Ooh.
But this one, you know, almost has like a little store label. Like it says Lockhart Hardware. So they obviously sold them.
Sherwin-Williams.
Yeah. I mean, so this does not have the newspaper.
No.
And maybe this tape was used, maybe someone just put it on to hold it together.
Maybe.
Because it's certainly old wallpaper.
Yeah.
Oh, look, there's a little hole. I bet that was the carrying thing.
Sure it was.
Maybe this is a little bit later than the other
Yeah.
ones. Although that paper would lead you not to believe that. I'm sure there's all kinds of wonderful stories that go with these hat boxes that we just don't know.
Well, and now I'm wondering how long Sherwin-Williams has
I
been.
don't know.
You know, that's
Yeah.
that's very interesting.
Or
Oops.
it could have been they had it, maybe they worked there and they used that tape to repair the box. You know, you really don't know.
You don't know.
You just
or
don't
or a
know.
little girl and her box was given to her by her grandma, and she cried, and her father said, "I have something that'll fix that," and he went to work and took care of it.
Exactly. Still a thing of beauty, though.
Yeah, it really is.
So that's the hat box story.
That is
And I
the most-
love them.
That is fascinating.
Love them.
Okay, so I loved that they, you know, the woman entrepreneur story. I
Yes.
love that they're the old wallpaper and the beauty and that they've lasted all these years.
newspaper.
The newspaper's making me crazy because
But
I
if you
just want
find
to read it.
Hannah Davis, grab it.
Oh my goodness, Hannah Davis. I am going to be looking for Hannah Davis hat boxes. And she had the most perfect name to be an entrepreneur too. Hannah Davis. Like, isn't that beautiful? Just rolls off your tongue.
Yes, it does.
It does. Well, Alice, thank you for this
You're
wonderful
welcome.
lesson.
And we still have a couple of more things we're going to talk about.
Oh yeah, there's another episode coming.
Oh, 2 more.
2, 3, yeah, there's a lot. So make sure you look for the next episode of Ask Alice.
Bye-bye.